Well, another week
Another week.
and another project completed.
Another project. Woohoo!
And you're really excited about this one, aren't you?
Yes, it's almost a functioning kitchen.
Almost. Hey, everybody, this is Bill and Deb. Bill and Deb
There you
with
go.
I Ride Tiny House Adventures. Anyway, yeah, we got another project done, and it's one that we've been wanting to get completed for quite some time, and it's changed a lot for us already, hasn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
So you want to tell them what it is?
We got our kitchen sink installed.
Yeah.
And we have running water and a working drain. Woo!
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I guess I ought to show them right quick, hadn't I?
I would.
Yeah, okay. All right, let me turn around here and we'll show you how we did this and everything and how it works. Anyway, first off, that is one huge sink, wouldn't you say, dear?
Yes, but look how functional it is.
Yeah.
This is a handy dandy drying rack that folds up. You can get it totally out of your way. Stays right there because of this rubber stuff. It doesn't slide around. So wash, rinse, drain, just like I wanted it to. But this is the best part.
Woohoo!
And
Yeah. And wait a minute, hear that? Listen. I don't know if they can hear that or not, but that's the sound of the water draining into the gray tank that's underneath the bed. And we're going to show that to you here in just a little bit, aren't we?
yes,
Anyway, but this sink was sink.
sink. It was a bear. Thank goodness Sam was here.
It was a little bit of a job to get it in. Yeah. Now it comes with a template, of course. And of course, the first thing we did was before we even started to cut out the hole for the sink, and we cut out the hole for the sink before Deb ever did the full marbleization on the countertops. So it was while the plywood was still in the raw. But we laid the sink on top of it upside down first, just to line everything up and, you know, just kind of eyeball it and make sure everything was going to work the way we had anticipated. And then, of course, we used the template that came with the sink and went ahead and drew out the line and cut out the hole. And we still had to use the multi-tool here and there, which is that vibrating saw, which I really love that thing, and had to do a little bit of clearancing here and there to make it slip down in there. And then they have these little bitty tabs, which I'm sorry I don't have a photo to show you that, but these little tabs that clip on to the sides of the sink. And that's what you use to tighten it down after you slip it into the hole. And of course we did silicone all around the edge of the sink here before we set the sink in. We also used plumber's putty and put plumber's putty there before we set the drain in.
And what was that other trick you did I thought was so cool? To hold the sink, I mean, after you tightened it and everything, but still to hold it down.
Oh.
You filled a 5-gallon bucket full of water to add pressure until the silicone dried.
Right,
I don't know, it's pretty cool. I'd never seen that before.
Well, I never had I wouldn't have thought about that.
Sam's
but my
idea,
buddy
wasn't
Sam
it?
here, and he didn't want to be in the video, and he didn't want to have his picture taken or anything, so that's why you don't see Sam. But Sam is, I consider Sam to be my best friend, and we've known each other for well over 30 years. And he was very, very helpful when it come to setting the sink.
Took
and
you all day.
Well, you know, yeah, it took a little while to go ahead and get it clearanced and get it fitting just the way we wanted and everything. And hooked up.
Yeah.
And we had to run into town because I thought I had the right parts, you know, to do it how I wanted it. And then once I got the sink set, I determined that the parts that I had weren't really going to work. So we went and got some different stuff, and now I'm fixing to show that to them now. So, but it is really cool the way it works.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It works
All right.
fantastic.
Well, let me show you something. Now, one of the cool things about it is the kind of drain that we use, or the kind of P-trap that we use. I'm fixing to show that to you here. I'm going to turn the light on so you can see it. And this really, once we got to this part, it really simplified things. But that P-trap right there is for marine applications. And it was real easy to install. You notice it doesn't take up a whole lot of space. And this is like $15 on Amazon, if I remember correctly. Is that right, Deb?
Yes, I believe
Yeah,
that's
something
correct.
like that. We'll post a link in the description and in a pinned comment at the beginning of the comment thread. but it really works nice. Now, it has a 3/4 inch barb fitting that comes out the side of it, and I was a little concerned about having decent enough flow with a 3/4 inch tube, but we do have about a 4-inch drop from where the P-trap is here to the entrance to the tank, and I'm fixing to show you that here in just a little bit. But that thing was real easy to install. Just used some pipe joint compound, and of course screwed it on and oriented it correctly so it would point the way I wanted it to, and then use this 3/4 inch braided hose, and they have that at Lowe's in 10-foot lengths for like $22, something like that. Also, sometimes Ace Hardware, our local Ace Hardware, will carry this hose, and you can buy it by the lineal foot. But they were out of it at the time. But you can see how the braided hose comes on down here like this, and all I can say altogether, it's like a 4-inch drop from there to where it enters the tank right there. Now, what I used to make these extra inlets on the tank, and on the gray tank, I actually did 3 extra ones. 2 are considered inlets and 1 is an outlet. And I also utilized, for the drain, I utilized the outlet fitting that was already included on the tank. But the others were not positioned where I wanted them. In addition to that, they weren't big enough. So what I used is a product called Uniseal, and there are several YouTube videos. Let me see if I can get a better shot of that. But it's a product called Uniseal. There's, like I say, there's several YouTube videos out there on how that works, and they're not expensive. You can get them in a various amount of sizes on Amazon, and then you use a special size PVC fitting depending on the size of the Uniseal that you get and what you want to end up with. So what I've got on this end, of course, is the entrance for the kitchen sink drain. On the other end, I installed one for the shower sump pump that we utilize on the other end for the inlet on it, because I wanted it in a certain spot on the tank. And then, of course, I vented this tank to the outside of the trailer with another Uniseal fitting on the other side. I could have used the 1/2-inch vent that was there, but I wanted a larger vent because I knew a lot of water would be coming into this thing, especially if you know, we're working at the sink and someone's taking a shower at the same time. So I went with a 1-inch fitting on the other end, and there's a 1-inch tube that vents out through the side of the trailer. So the tank is vented very well with a 1-inch tube, which is on the other end of the tank here. But these Uniseal fittings are very easy to install, and that's what makes it so nice. You just simply drill the appropriate hole in your tank, take a little bit of soapy water and coat around the edge of the Uniseal and pop it into place, and it stays, and it really works well. I'll post a link to a YouTube video that shows how these Uniseal fittings install. They are really cool. Anyway, that's now let me get back up here. But of course, we still have more to go here under the bed. We still have to hook up the freshwater tank, which is right here, and you know, still got to run the gravity fill water fill hose over to this, and then of course the pump will be mounted right down there where there'll be easy access to it if I ever need to service it, which I will. But you know, there's times when you got to service the pump when we're utilizing the freshwater tank, but that'll come down in a later video. Now our next step, I can turn this light off now.
Thank you.
Is it too bright?
It's a little bright.
I'm sorry. Anyway, what we're going to start on today is building our shelves and coming up with a way to mount the shelves and to hide the wiring, which we'll show you in the next video, how we're going to hide the wiring that comes down to power the toaster oven and the microwave, and they will be on shelves, you know, about mid-height, so there'll be enough room for the coffee pot and things like that to fit underneath. And we will have a total of 4 circuits ran up here, 4 independent circuits. There will be 4 independent receptacles here, and each of them will be on their own dedicated circuit. And we will get into that in the next video. And what's not going to be nice about that is when we're plugged into 50 amp service, we won't have to worry about all of our electrical appliances because there'd be plenty of power to run everything all at once if we wanted to. Now, when we're plugged into 30 amp service, though, we will have to think about it a little bit, but we will cover that in a future video. I don't know if there's anything else we need to talk about right now.
No, it was raining, but now it's not, so we're about ready to get to work, right?
Are you ready to crack the whip? Is that
Yes,
what
I
you're gonna
am.
do?
I want my kitchen finished. Call me stupid.
Well, I want it done too. Of course, once we get the AC power ran up front,
yeah,
alternating current. How'd you like that fancy terminology?
whatever.
when we get those
just want
4
one drop
circuits,
cords.
yeah, I know we'll be able to eliminate the drop cords. But when we get the 4 circuits ran up there to the front of the kitchen and get our shelves mounted and everything, then you can, while we are presently plugged into 50 amp, you'll
I
be
can
able
run
to
my coffee pot, my toaster oven, my microwave, my
everything at once.
not
Everything at once. Not
sorry,
that you
I
would.
don't cook those kind of meals.
Right. But if you wanted to put on,
if I wanted to, I could.
you could, And you can't run them all at once when you're on 30 amp. But like I said previously, we will cover that in another video down the line.
And stay cool, because my mini split will be cooling me down while I'm
wow.
doing it.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know what else to say right now. Do you?
Nothing. No.
But right after we get the shelving done and get those mounted, then of course the next thing is, for the shelves for the appliances, I should say that. Then the next thing is building the shelves that are above the sink and above the bar area over here. And then we'll be running the 12-volt wiring to power our lights. And then we'll
we will
have
have light.
ample light in the kitchen. These are exciting times. That's all I can say. Exciting times.
So exciting.
Yeah. Yeah. And I will point out one more thing before we go. Yeah, I do need to dress this up a little bit. This ended up being a little bit different than what I anticipated it would be when we first started running the plumbing, back 3 months ago for the hot and cold lines. So I'm going to dress it up a little bit, and keep in mind too, in the future, this will be a built-out wall. It will be built out to the thickness just between the bed and this upright over here. It will be built out to the thickness of the panel here. So the panel will look like it's flush to the wall. But this is what we're going to be calling our utility wall, where wiring, will be going up and out and over, and plumbing and such like that. So that's why we're going to build that out where it's like 3.5 inches deep right there to cover all that. Plus have panels that we can pop off if we need to get to a section of plumbing or wiring or whatever. But that's here again, that is another video down the road.
Right. We got lots to do.
Yeah, I think we've talked enough in this one.
Lots to do, and we're going to take you with us.
Yeah, and we'll post the links to the kitchen sink, the faucet, and that really cool P-trap.
P-trap and the Uniseal.
Yeah, and the Uniseals.
And we got every bit of that at Amazon.
Every bit of it at Amazon. Absolutely. And it's working. I had some chia as part of my breakfast this morning. Anyway, this is Bill and Deb with I Ride Tiny House Adventures. And as we always say, we're not camping.
We're living.
Y'all get out there, do some living yourself, and we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye now.